We'd go to something new every day. It was so exhausting. I probably felt a bit anxious. Might be something wrong with me.
Hi, my name's Tony Watkins.
And I'm Mary.
And we're the parents of Abby. She's 12 years old at Mastery Schools Australia. Abby has a couple of learning difficulties. One of them is autism, and also she has dyslexia. She's also got developmental disorder and anxiety and a small amount of depression.
Before school, Abby was a vibrant little child. And I called her my little sunshine. She was creative, she loved her sisters. She would tend to play with her dolls and she'd group them all up and play with them like she was a teacher. Delightful child.
She also had very close friends, and her friends were often doing things and learning things together. So for us, there was no difference for Abby but smiles from the first time she woke up in the morning. Yeah. We've got two other daughters and she was very much the same to me.
By the end of grade 1, she was struggling at school. There was changes in both her personality and just in herself. The teacher noticed that, and we got a speech therapist to come in at that time. And then we got some tests done with her eyes, and reports were sort of instigating that there were some difficulties there at school. Grade 2 come along, and then the real behaviours, it's the dragging the feet, not really wanting to go to school. She had lovely teachers, but because Abby was so quiet in the class and there was a lot of children in the classroom, she was sort of left behind. And then grade 3 came along, and then you could really notice the disengagement from school. It was, I don't want to go to school, Mum.
Babs, come on, darling. I can't keep waiting. We've got to get going soon. Sweetheart, come on, please.
Come on, it's like Daniel. I can't get out of it.
Sweetheart, you can learn. You'll be fine. Come on. Just get up and then see how you feel, okay?
No, I don't want to go there.
I know you don't want to, but we need to go to school, Dale.
I can't.
Why can't you?
Because I don't learn anything. It's jail.
Ah, darling. Keep persisting, sweetheart.
I've tried so long though, I've done it so many times.
Come on, sweetheart, please just get ready.
But I've done it so many times and I just can't.
Oh, darling.
Picking her up after school was always horrible because all the other kids are running out of the classroom. Abby's dragging her feet, walking to the car. How's your day, darling? Don't want to talk, Mum. Not happy. Then all the emotions, anger, frustration comes out, which is very heartbreaking. I found it very hard to try and encourage her to go to school. I knew, and it just brings back memories, and I think, how can I get her to go to school when I know how she's actually feeling? What she's going through. So I found that very contradictory.
And I think at that time she noticed she was a bit different as well. And different times when we go to the school to drop things off or whatever, you would see her in the class and she definitely wasn't the same bright spark and happy little girl that we knew. We knew that her days were real tough now.
At my old school, the hardest part was we'd go to something new every day, and it was so exhausting.
And then there was some sort of, I guess, innuendos and comments made by some of the adults around her at the time, which wasn't great. And then kids can sort of, tease a little bit and things like that. And really was one or two of those, and her self-esteem and then self-worth, and went really down fast.
I probably felt a bit sad and anxious, like I didn't belong, and there might be something wrong with me.
And so then from that, we started doing what's called stemming. And they said if it's self-harm and things like that. And I thought, well, the good news is Abby's never really self-harmed. And Mary says, oh no, hang on. She bites her lip a lot and she picks her nails until they're so far down that they're really sore. Abby got to a point where she was very down, very depressive and anxious. And like I said, she was biting her lip even until it was bleeding. And then when I got and understood that's self-harm, it makes you really upset. For us, it was a turning point because she said, why am I here? What am I here for though? And I was like, oh, well, let's work on job prospects and career paths and what you're passionate about, what you enjoy and all that. And she's like, well, you don't get it, Dad. I'm not asking what's my life purpose. What's the purpose of my life in the first place? I can't do anything. I've got all these differences about me. I shouldn't be here. And we both were heartbroken, And so for us, that was, okay, Mary's going to use her social and emotional skills with the teachers she had at the time and all the rest of it. I'll use my ADHD hyperfocus and I'll research the crap out of stuff for weeks and months. That turned into years. And we started to learn all the things that we needed to learn and go and make change. And so that's when Mary come across MSA.
Yeah. And I said, Tony, have a look at this.
And I said, yeah,
oh my God,
I've done enough research now. This is way too good to be true.
We thought, okay, let's do a trial. So from Victoria, logistically, how are we going to manage this? So Tony just rang first to see if we could get in from a trial and if they accepted students from other states. It was the next week, so we bought our tickets and flew up. And the principal at Coolangatta, MSA Coolangatta, he was amazing. He took us in after the tour that we did was great, and he explained how the school worked.
And for me, it was almost like ticking off all these checks around what we knew that Abby would need, but I still didn't believe that maybe a school would do all of those things.
On Abby's trial day, Abby undertook various tests to determine her English and maths levels.
What surprised us was how low her level in reading, spelling and in maths were. It was a shock.
It was shown in her initial individual learning plan that she was reading at an 8-year-old level.
Now all of a sudden we realised that with proper testing, she needed more help than we'd ever thought before. So we started to realise we have to make this move.
Yeah.
We'll move jobs, we'll move home, we'll move away from family, we'll move from friends. We'll do whatever we need to do to give Abby this chance at learning to read, write and spell the way that she can learn.
Abby was then placed in groups suited to her ability rather than her year level. At first, Abby was quite fatigued with this as she wasn't used to engaging in lessons. Abby felt quite alienated at her old school, so wasn't used to partaking, actively learning, actively responding. So this meant that Abby was in a bit of a shock at the start of MSA.
At my old school, I might have only learned like one thing a day, but then at MSA, I learnt about 10 things a day. And it was like my mind just opened up to all the possibility. And when I went home, I told my mum that my brain hurt because I wasn't used to my brain learning that much.
I was quite surprised after Abby's first day. What mattered was how she come back, and she said, I can learn here. I can learn here. I thought they might have fed her lollies or something because she was just so excited and happy and all the rest of it. I knew about explicit instruction and evidence-based literacy, etc., but never knew that a child could get it so quickly and be so excited so fast.
When Abby settled into MSA, I started noticing lots of changes in her, this including her self-confidence increased. She started participating in learning. Through achieving mastery, Abby was really excited that she finally got 100% in a test. She wanted to show the class, she would actively participate and just want to get to know everyone around her and make sure that they knew that her love of learning was back.
We found that even in the caravan, she was riding her bike around, playing with the dog. She started to crack jokes again.
Yeah.
you know, just after a few weeks. And her teacher really knew her and got her within weeks. And she did an ILP without asking us. And she had wonderful SMART goals in there that were very detailed, and social goals that were right on the money with Abby and what she needed. So it's sort of no wonder to us that she started getting out on a bike a lot more, and just, yeah, there was no homework all of a sudden.
Yes.
So she had free time, and we'd go swimming, and we started exploring around, and even till late at night. It didn't matter, because we started to get Abby back, and we knew it. And for me, it culminated in Abby jumping in my car and saying, "Come on, Dad, we've got to get to school." And that, I was blown off my chair. I was like, wow, that's a very different experience. And that was only after 3 or 4 weeks at MSA.
Sometimes she's got in a uniform and gone to bed at night time so that she's ready in the morning, you know.
And there's also, I was thinking about the examples of where you were taking her to school and she'd cheekily say, "I don't want to go to school, Mum. I don't want to go to school." Mocking herself of how she used to be.
I feel like I really love school, and I actually found a place where I can enjoy to learn. Everyone here is like me, like they understand you. It's kind of like a second home.
It couldn't have come a day sooner. You know, it's just great, because the trajectory was very different. And to reclaim 3.5 years of reading, writing and spelling that underpins every subject for the rest of her life in 1 year, I knew we were going to get amazing results, but that's just undeniable. No wonder she wants to be a teacher.
Yes.
No wonder her teacher told us yesterday her primary love at school, reading. Of all things. The very thing she avoided for years. I'll just read a letter that Abby's written. She wants to send this to a minister to see about getting a change after her experience at MSA. Dear, insert minister's name. My name's Abby Watkins, and I've got ADHD, dyslexia and autism. I'm so grateful that schools now do 25 minutes of the science of reading. But it's also not good. It's bad because kids get confused. My whole life.
Teachers called me lazy, dumb, stupid. It is painful, all because all teachers do not want to learn science of reading. And if dyslexic kids can't learn reading, they can't do math, writing, and that is how people get homeless. Because if you can't read, you can't work. I have come to a school called MSA, and now I am so smart. I have like a billion IQ. MSA teaches science of reading. It is the biggest favour I have ever asked. But can you please make a change? If you do not know, all this is called the reading war, and please give MSA funding.